Weekly progress updates have started. We actually have one this morning. Talbot County, Easton Airport, AECOM, Atlantic, Town of Easton, EU are all working together. I would like to report that the communication has been fantastic. I want to say thank you to the Town of Easton and Easton Utilities. Everybody's been working together seamlessly to get through the project. A lot of good communication. Survey work has been continuing to stake out the locations for the fence service roads, the new hydrants, gates, etc. A lot of things happening out there on the airfield. You'll notice that the erosion and sediment control silt fence has already started the installation around the airport property. You'll see it over at the Talbot County Business Center. There's going to be a lot more of it coming. 2 fire hydrants have been installed. They're not in service yet. That was most of what we worked on last week, was getting them put in the ground. They're not been put in service, but they are tapped into the main water line. We had a walkthrough of the Talbot County Business Center, a demolition discussion, a pretty detailed one was had last week. We went through and identified a lot of systems that we're going to try to pull out and sell this year. Modular office setups, storage racks, overhead cranes, air compressors, things of that nature. We had a contractor walk through there with us and give us a general idea of what they would do, how they would demo it, what their approach would be. It's kind of giving us an idea of how we're going to set up the bid package. And those various items, we're going to try to sell them on the via the GovDeals website. Also, local businesses we're going to reach out to and encourage them to come and take a look and see if there's anything in there that they would like to purchase from us as well. So currently, they're also doing their construction entrance improvements. They're going to be using 6 construction entrances around the airport, 6 existing, and then 2 that are on the former Black & Decker, where they're going to be putting gates in to go between the existing airfield and the current Talbot County Business Center site. The material procurement for the security fencing is mostly complete. The 10-foot tall security fence installation is going to begin on December the 26th, so that's next Tuesday. The fence installation will begin. And we have a media release that's ready to publish simultaneously next week as well, to keep the public updated with what's going on. So many of you have already driven past the site. This is an example of what you're starting to see: the erosion and sediment control fencing, the silt fencing, starting to delineate the work areas and where various things are going to be staged. That's what that delineates. This is a view of the front. You can see the former Black & Decker in the back, the silt fencing. I'm located kind of out towards Glebe Road in this picture right there. And the area that's just before that orange fencing is going to be where we're going to start stockpiling a lot of soil, topsoil, things of that nature once it starts getting removed. This is a picture right here. If you go out there and you really pay attention, you'll see there's some stakes. You can see the Talbot Business Center on the left. The parkway is on the right side with some automobiles on it. And this is just to give you a visual of when we do install the new security fence. This is the approximate location of where it's going to be. So you can see it's not right up close to the parkway. It's more than 100 feet in off of the parkway. Derek, you want to say anything about any of this stuff that I've said so far? Am I hitting all the highlights?
Yep.
I'm getting everything right? Okay. Keep me honest over here. Appreciate that. As you come in the entrance, you'll see some more stakes on the left and the right of the entrance. And again, this is essentially where the location of the 10-foot security fence is going to be. You can see it's inside of the utilities all the way around. All right, and these pictures here, I don't know why they are rotated that way. Yesterday they were the other way, so you can see them easily. But anyway, what these pictures are showing you is that these are the 2 locations that we installed the hydrants on the 12-inch water mains, And it was really a fascinating process. Hugh, you probably have seen this before and bored to tears with it, but for somebody who's seen it for the first time, I thought it was very interesting. They did wet taps, so there was water running through them the whole time, and they saddled them up and tapped them. It was quite the process, and they actually got both of them done, within a few hours. So I was pretty impressed by how quickly the process was done. This is the hydrant that's just inside the fence out by the Talbot County Business Center site. That fence is temporarily opened up now, but that's where a gate is going to be installed. And one thing I'll say about this as well, that some people know, but a lot of people don't. Every time we do something here at the airport, we try to get as much mileage out of it as we can. And the location of this hydrant was really thought about, because not only is it going to be used for the construction project, they'll use any other water needs when they get opening up the earth and moving dirt around. They'll use it next summer when it's dusty for their water truck to keep the dust down. So a lot of thought was put into that. But also, once the project is completed, this hydrant is going to remain, and it's going to be a site of a future staging area for the fire department. So right now, for engines to have to make an emergency response to the airport, they have to leave one of the two stations in town or on Matthewstown Road and drive up north to Airport Road and hook back, and it adds time to the response. In the future, once this project is completed, they'll literally be able to come out of the main station, come up Glebe Road, and turn right and access the airfield within minutes, and there will be a hydrant right there. And this is only, just shooting from the hip, this is a few hundred feet from where the approach end of the future runway 4 is going to be. So you'll be able to get right on scene, right to the staging area very quickly once this is completed. And again, there's a picture of the final product before they actually put the hydrant on. That's the saddle and the new valve once it's been tapped, and then the hydrant was installed on top of that. Any questions about any of that portion?
They're going to put meters on those hydrants?
Oh yeah.
Construction?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. All right, good question there. And what's going on? Okay, so we've already done a lot, and there's a lot more that's getting ready to happen. Again, the fence construction is going to continue into January of 2024. Again, it's going to start Tuesday. They'll be on site starting to install the posts. It'll be a 10-foot tall security and containment fencing, and it'll have a fabric barrier. The fabric barrier is multi-purpose. It's to help keep the dust and any debris down from blowing around the construction site. It will also act as a visibility barrier as well, for safety purposes, just to try to reduce the amount of folks trying to look over there when they're driving, down the parkway through the intersection, kind of, one of those type of things, kind of shield what's going on to not draw attention, for the name of safety. Now it's on back order. It won't arrive until late January, which will probably be right around the time they're finishing up the fence anyway. So it's going to take probably the better part of a month to get the fence installed. And again, while we have this picture up here, it's a dated picture. Obviously, these trees have been going for several years now, but we do have the existing airport fence that runs from the left and right across your screen here, and the new containment fencing will basically enclose this entire 58 acres to make it part of the airfield. They're working on construction entrances now, multiple construction entrances that we've had around the airport for many years for other projects. They're improving those entrances, putting new stone down. They'll be moving the fencing a little bit and getting them ready. Again, a lot of thought was put into how we're going to move the construction equipment around, maximize the use of keeping the construction equipment on airport and trying to keep them off of the roadways to the extent that we can. The Talbot County Business Center parking lot demolition will begin the first quarter of next year. We've been talking about the mass earthwork project. That's basically what this is this area right here where the 1,900-foot shift of the runway will be. Is going to receive about 400,000 cubic yards of earth to be moved into that area. Some of it's going to be cut from over here and moved. Some's going to be cut from the north and moved. Some's going to be brought from our stockpile over here. And then a good amount's going to be brought in from off-site. But that's the main focus of this project, is to turn this into a plateau at 32 feet MSL and maintain, and be ready for the new runway and the adjacent taxiway. There will be significant airfield impacts to begin in February of 2024. We'll go over the specific dates on the next slide. The exact dates and times are always going to be announced via these meetings, via text, via email, via newsletter. You're going to get more than 2 months notice, quite frankly, because we're getting ready to give you the dates. No TAMs will be issued 72 hours in advance. That's the maximum that the FAA will allow. So there will be no TAMs issued to the extent that we can issue them. And all ESN users are encouraged to sign up for text and email alerts. We've been messaging it all year. Please spread the word, friends, neighbors, anybody that is interested in the airport to sign up. And especially if we're talking operational impacts, people that are using the airport, our flying users, make sure that they're plugged in with us. Okay, operational impacts. Before I go to the specific dates that you can see there, runway 422 closures. When we say there's going to be a 422 closure, they're going to be effective Monday at 0900 until Friday at 0900. We will have some weekend closures that they'll be coordinated in advance as well. But in general, when we say runway 422 is going to be closed, we're talking Monday through Friday with the weekends open. We'll give everybody advance notice if we're going to allow them to close through the weekend. And it's also important to note that one runway will always be open and available for operation. So there's at no point in 2024 is there going to be a complete closure of the airfield. Runway 422 closures will begin on February the 19th, run until March 19th. On March 19th, we'll go ahead and open 422 back up, and then we'll simultaneously close 1533 that same day. When we close 1533, that's going to be a hard closure for approximately 30 days. We will not reopen on the weekends. So 1533 will be hard closure from March 19th through April the 19th. And then on April the 19th, we are going to do it again. We'll open 1533 and we'll close 422. Once we close 422 on April the 19th, it will remain closed Monday through Friday throughout the completion of phase 1 in late 2024. So that's approximately 5 months. So that means that runway 422 will be closed for the majority of next summer. And again, we're 2 months early in coordinating this, and we're going to continue to coordinate this with our users and with our FBO owners and our businesses. We'll make sure that they know, that the idea is to give our users windows of opportunities to know when they can move the aircraft around that need to have that longer runway.
Going to be here next summer?
So I don't know that answer yet. That's and I don't have anybody from Prey on the line or even Trident. Scott and I, we were having that conversation. So we don't know if they're coming. We'll have to work with them. If they do come, we're going to make it abundantly clear that we're at a reduced runway capacity, and they're going to need to have a plan to go do their approaches at Cambridge or Ridgely or somewhere else.
Their decision whether to come here or not.
Yeah, it's that answer is no. So, but we'll continue to reach out. The reality is this is going to be a self-governing problem, right? It's a self-governing challenge. It's like there's only so much that can happen on one runway. So nobody's going to want to do pattern work all day if you're extending out 10 or 15 miles, so it's going to be one of those things to where once the pattern gets strung out, you're going to be done anyway. Because IFR is always going to be prioritized, and we're certainly going to prioritize getting our arrivals and departures out of here, the ones that are just trying to get up and go or to get in. So pattern work's going to have to, you know, yeah. Yeah, we're going to have those conversations with the tower because the reality is we all know this project is the priority. We have to get it done. Once it's done, it's going to be a fantastic airfield for everybody to use, all the time, but we have to get through this hard part. And if we need to restrict the pattern, we certainly will. We had to shut the pattern down for a few hours a couple of weeks ago just to kind of get some survey work done. So if we need to, I don't disallow touch and goes and low approaches and just do full stops, then that's a tool that we can use to get people in and out. Literally we're at the point where everybody knows what's happening. We all have to work together to get through it. There's going to be inconvenience on everybody's behalf, but that's why we're having these conversations. Good input, though. And lastly, but not least, our informational campaign that we had talked about. You can't come through the gate at the airport without seeing this sign. So all of our users, I think most of our users are plugged in and they're receiving the information. So continue to please spread the word, especially to airport users, around the hangars. Make sure everybody's on our email list and on our text list. And again, this portion of our meeting will be put on our website. So, and we plan to do that every month so that everybody can get the most accurate information. We're trying very hard to educate and to keep the facts out there and to let people know what's going on. We're also doing our, Jeff and I have been on the road, taking our show on the road, as it were. We've been going around the community. We've been invited out to a couple of different community events, and we've been, taking our PowerPoint out there and talking to people and answering questions and everything. So we're doing a lot to educate and to get the word out there.